Imagine being at the center of chaos where every decision feels like it could tip the scales of fate. That's exactly where two of history's greatest figures found themselves: Marcus Aurelius, ruler of Rome, and Arjuna, the warrior prince of the Mahabharata. Separated by centuries and cultures, their battles were different, but their struggles with doubt, fear, and resilience reveal something timeless. Let's begin with Marcus Aurelius. His empire was crumbling under the weight of invasions, a devastating plague, and political betrayals. But Marcus didn't just rule Rome. He carried its survival on his shoulders. Every night, amidst the chaos, he would retreat to his journal, writing lines that were never meant for anyone but himself. One of those lines read, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This wasn't just philosophy for Marcus, it was survival. Imagine facing overwhelming odds and still choosing to act, knowing full well the limits of your control. For Marcus, resilience was about accepting what couldn't be changed and finding strength in what could. He ruled with clarity even as the empire teetered on collapse. Now let's step onto the battlefield of Kurukshetra, where Arjuna, the most skilled warrior of his time, stands frozen. His chariot is poised at the center of two massive armies, but his hands tremble and his bow slips from his grasp. He's paralyzed not by fear of his enemies, but by the weight of fighting his own family. Arjuna turns to Krishna, his divine charioteer, seeking guidance. Krishna's response is legendary: "Do your duty without attachment to the results." This wasn't just advice for the battlefield. Krishna was teaching Arjuna the foundation of resilience, focusing on actions over outcomes. Arjuna didn't overcome his fear instantly, but as Krishna unraveled the wisdom of detachment, Arjuna found clarity. He picked up his bow not to fight for glory, but to fulfill his duty. But resilience isn't just for emperors and warriors. Let's fast forward to the 20th century, to a young woman named Malala Yousafzai. At just 15, she was shot by the Taliban for advocating education for girls in Pakistan. Her battle wasn't just against violence, it was against fear itself. Lying in a hospital bed, Malala made a decision not to let fear silence her voice. She once said, "I had two options. One was to remain silent, and the other was to speak up and fight for my rights. I chose the second one." Today, Malala's name is synonymous with courage and resilience. Her story, like those of Marcus and Arjuna, shows us that true strength isn't the absence of fear, it's the decision to act despite it. The science behind resilience gives us even more reason to hope. Neuroscience reveals that our brains are wired to adapt through a process called neuroplasticity. Every time you face a challenge and push through, you're literally reshaping your brain to handle future obstacles better. It's like lifting weights for your mind. The Stoics understood this long before neuroscience gave it a name. Marcus wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." But how can you apply this to your own life? Here are free steps to building your fearless mind. First, reframe challenges. When faced with difficulty, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Arjuna's clarity came when he saw his battle not as a punishment but as a duty. Marcus found peace in accepting that struggle was a part of life. Second, take small, consistent actions. Malala didn't start by taking on the world, she started by writing a diary. Small acts of courage, repeated daily, build the foundation of resilience. Finally, detach from outcomes. Focus on the process, not the result. This isn't just philosophy, it's science. Studies show that people who focus on effort over results experience less stress and greater satisfaction. Resilience isn't something you're born with. It's something you build, moment by moment, decision by decision. Like Marcus, you can find strength in chaos. Like Arjuna, you can act with clarity despite fear. Like Malala, you can turn adversity into a legacy of courage. The storms of life are inevitable. What matters is how you navigate them. Start building your fearless mind today.